Hey guys, this is going to be a What's a Fat Gamer to Do video. This is my fifth week doing this since I started sharing my health journey on YouTube, but it's actually only my fourth video. Today is September 18th, 2011. It's Sunday. This week was this was the worst. This is probably the worst week that I've had. Um, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was just a tough week. I didn't actually get a chance to do any of the walking. Normally, when I come home from work, I try to walk for 30 minutes every day, Monday through Friday. Um, uh, and I just didn't get around to doing it. Some of it, 3 of the days, was because of me. That was my fault. Um, the other 2 days were just crappy days where I had to deal with other family-related stuff. I didn't have time. I ended up losing. I still lost. I lost a pound this week, which is, I guess, it's pretty standard. Losing a pound a week. That should be fairly good. I should be happy about that. I still think that I should lose closer to 1% of my body weight, but 1 pound's 1 pound. The other problem I had was that I was extremely hungry all week, and I'm not normally. I haven't been, especially when I'm on my work schedule. Um, as I've told you in my other videos, I do keep track of my calories, and I actually went over my calories 2 days this week, and not by a huge amount. It was like 200 calories here, 200 calories there. So I mean, I suppose the 1 pound actually shows up. I guess I went over my calories 2 days, and I didn't do any other exercise or walking. Um, yeah, so I mean, I guess it makes sense. I guess I'm still trying. Obviously, I'm still mentally trying to deal with it. um, yeah, it was just a bad week, and I mean, yeah, I think everyone's gonna, when you're trying to lose weight, you're gonna run into these weeks where they're hard, and I've kind of been on a high as I've been on this steady losing streak. I've lost 59 pounds, I think. Yeah, 59 pounds since I started. So I've been really consistent, and I've been lucky that, except for the first week when I had really bad headaches, probably due to the lack of caffeine. I used to drink a lot of diet soda and stuff, which I cut out. I just drink water now. I haven't really been that bad off. I haven't had my hunger pains or anything like that. So part of me wants to kind of think, oh, yeah, even as annoying it is, and it's hard for me not to eat off my times, if I'm hungry, that's kind of a more positive thing. I mean this as it wasn't like I made a mistake type where it was a mental thing in the back of my head telling me to eat Cookie Monster style, like I've talked before. This is more just I was just hungry, like in my stomach growling, hungry, and that that's different. Maybe that's my body being thermogenic and actually using the calories that I'm giving it, so it's saying, hey, you needed a little more or something. I don't know. I just know that I did have a tough time. Not that I didn't cheat on my food really, except for those. Well, I did cheat those 2 days, but it wasn't. I just ate more at lunch than I would have normally. That's where the 200 calories came in. So I mean, as always, when you're doing the weight loss, it's one of those things where I'm just gonna. That's the past. So I got to look forward to this week. I got to have to go forward with it, and hopefully I have a better week. So I'm gonna wake up all bushy-tailed and happy, and pretend next week didn't happen, and I'm starting at 0 again. So hopefully I can hit 2 pounds, which is my goal to lose each week is 2 pounds. If I get 3, yes, I do backflips and jump for joy. All right, maybe not backflips, but I'll jump for joy. And be happy about it. So this week, I wanted to add as my little tip I think I mentioned it before, but I'm going to go over it a little bit anyways, is you want to have goals, which is why I wear my glasses, because I have to read some stuff on the computer that I've written down for myself. Now, you have to have, I have some things written down that are called inspirations, and these are things that motivate me to um, want to lose weight. It can't just be I just want to be healthy. That is true, but there has to be something else there driving me. And some people it could be person's kids, or it could be family, or maybe they had a health scare, or these are the things that inspire you to, uh, you want to lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle. So I'm going to give you mine. They're kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to give them to you anyways because I want to have full disclosure, and I guess if anyone's seeing this, don't whatever. Everyone has weird things, and we're all if you're watching this and you're trying to lose weight because of it, then we're unhealthy together. And sometimes it seems like you're the only one who might have a certain feeling. So that's why I want to share everything. Okay, so my inspirations. The first one's kind of funny to me, anyways, but it's probably my most. Uh, it's probably my second most inspiring thing that I came up with. I actually came up with three, and the first on the list is the young lady who works at the Radio Shack. So, yeah, I've talked to her. She just seems really cool and friendly, and I'm not a proponent about saying, oh, well, you have to be fit and healthy to woo someone or go after someone, but if you don't have the confidence, and being obese, that would obviously drops your confidence to a certain degree. I would rather have the best shot possible at going towards, pursuing something with a person than I would as basically I'd like to stack the deck, I guess, if that makes sense to you. I would hope the person would like me anyways, regardless, but I think in a perfect world that's not always the case. I think you're just kind of stuck. So that's the first one. So that girl down at the Radio Shack, which I go to probably once a week. Now the second one is really the second on my list is actually my most important as far as I'm concerned, and that's I'd like to be around for my imaginary children. So I'm not married. I don't have any children. I'm not dating anyone. I would really like to have children, and that goes along with meeting someone. Once again, you'd like to think in a perfect world the way that your physical appearances wouldn't affect how someone cares about you. And in some people it's possible that's true, but in the experience from the people that I've met, it's just not the same. And I would just really, that's kind of the end of the line. I'd like to meet someone and have children type deal. I guess I could adopt, which is definitely an option, but I'd like that. I'd really like to have children. Excuse me. So, all right. So the third one is I have this retro Star Wars. Actually, I have three of them Star Wars shirts that I've had since I was a little kid, and I just saved them because they were Star Wars. I know my mother kept trying to throw them away, and I kept taking them and hiding them, and so. And I just want to fit back into them. And these were like from high school ones. These aren't the ones from like the 1970s ones. I wish I had those. These are more kind of ones that I found in the late 80s, early 90s that were at like the Salvation Army or discount things that were in the racks. I found them and kept them. Which that would just have to be it's a large t-shirt, so that's really, I should be able to get into a large t-shirt. So I am now wearing a 3X, so obviously I have to cut some of the X's out. That's how big I am. I'm pretty huge. So. Let's see. Alright, so those are my inspirations. Those are the kind of things I go back to whenever I think, why are you doing those? These are the things I try to think of in the morning. When I first get up in the morning, I think of usually think of it how you want, but I think of that girl at the store the first thing in the morning. I think of that I want to have a family, I want to have children, and I'd like to be able to just throw on that t-shirt, So these are things that motivate me, and you're gonna have totally different motivations, inspirations. those are inspirations, not motivation. I actually have motivations are separate. So these are the motivations, that things that motivate me. These are on top of the inspiration, and these are just things that I can look forward to as well. They're almost identical. I guess you could put them all into one big list if you wanted. But so these are what my my motivations are. And I'm basically the top is like, I'm tired of being unhealthy. I it took me 7 years to become this way. I don't want to. I want to be. I can never be the way I was because of my arm, but I mean, I can be the best that I can be with my injury. If that makes sense, I can be stronger and better and healthier and live a better lifestyle than I am. So I'd like to do that. So I'm tired of being unhealthy, so I want to be healthy. Number two, I already talked about this in my inspirations, but I'd like to find a significant other. I've already went through that, so I'm not going to go through it again. I'd like to change jobs and scenery. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is I'd like to get a new. I'd like to move on from the job that I have. I'm a skilled. All of my skills. I have an eclectic skill set, but I mean, what I would really like to be doing is to be doing construction again, if that would be possible. Construction, whether it's roofing, framing, siding, or any combination, or even just home repair, working for myself. Getting my contractor's license, or whatever it would be. But that's what I would rather be doing than what I'm doing now. And using the becoming a healthier, stronger person would allow me to do that. Even if someone hired me immediately, I could not do it, and I wouldn't feel safe. You think that at 331 pounds or 340 pounds, would I want to be up on a roof where if I fell, I couldn't even hold myself up? I want to be that strong, or stronger than I was. Now, I'm limited by my arm, but because I don't have that chronic pain anymore, I'm hoping that I can work harder at it and rebuild strength in my arm. And which goes into my next my next number 4 is what I like to overcome my injury, so I can say screw you to the doctors who said my injury would always cause me chronic pain and rated me as light duty. So basically, I just want to throw the finger up at the doctors who said that I would never be better. And it took a while, but now that my arm doesn't hurt, it's not 100% functional the way it's supposed to, but I can pick up heavy weights, and even with the dumbbells that I'm using for curls and extensions, I'm not getting the pain, that chronic pain that I always had before, and that has opened up my eyes a lot, and it allowed me to work a lot harder. And it was holding me back before, and I think that now, because of that, I don't know, it's freeing to not have that chronic pain. It's completely freeing. That's the only way that I can explain it. So now that I don't have it, the limitations in the arm are annoying, but at least I can work at something, and I can do whatever. Maybe I can't do bench presses or military pressing, but I can do dumbbell curls or whatever dumbbell whatever, a million different exercises. There's so many exercises that I can do that I wasn't able to do before when I was injured. So that's one of my things. And then I have another one of my motivations is I'd like to hit 300 by the end of November, so November 30th. That would be my weight, to be under 300. So 300 is what I'm doing. Now, I also had set up another, like a goal as I started growing my beard. I've always had a goatee, but I started to let the goatee grow long. It was not always this long. A couple of years ago, about 2.5 years maybe, the goatee I started growing, because it was supposed to be a visual reminder to myself to always to want to better myself, to want to lose weight, and obviously that didn't work. That wasn't it. But then when the pain in my arm went away, that plus the beard kind of clicked, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not limited anymore. Now I can do what I need to try to lose weight. So last November, when that happened, around when I decided that I was able to do this, and I've been trying to figure out how to go about it, for that long. It's almost coming up on a year. I started growing the sides, like the side beard, that part of my beard. And the thing was to always in the end of November to shave that off, so I wouldn't have a full beard. I would just have a long goatee, basically. Well, goatee, mustache, goatash. I don't know what the names are. So I'm thinking that I will, at the end of November, if I hit my goal, so as soon as I hit 300, when I do, I'll actually shave off the beard. Keep the goatee for now as a reminder for it. Some sort of like reverse Jedi Padawan braid or something. And then the goal is to, when I'm finally down to the weight that I want to be, I can, as a symbol, I can cut my beard. My beard here, and that's, that'll be something I can always have and be like, dude, you don't ever want to go back to that way that you were before. So that's my basic tip, and I know it's extremely long, and I spent a lot of time just kind of rambling on, but you hopefully you get the idea that you have to find your motivation, you have to find your inspiration, you have to find what can drive you, and it has to come from yourself. You can't just say that, my wife wants me to lose weight, or my kids said they want me to lose their weight. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it for your wife or do it for your kids, but you're the one that has to do it. You have to be the one to, or wife or husband or whatever. You have to be the one to want it, or you're not. You're gonna fail if you're not doing it for yourself. And I think that is true with a lot of things in life. If you're not doing it for yourself, then in the end, you're A, not going to be happy, and B, you may not even succeed at what you're doing. So I think that, I think I've rambled on enough. Let's hope that this week goes by without incident, and I do well. And I hope all of you who take the time to actually watch this are doing things for themselves, and working hard. And I appreciate everyone who's written down anything, that sent me a comment, or decided that they were going to do something to help me by working out or trying to live a healthier style at the same time. That type of camaraderie is indispensable. And it's not. I go back sometimes and just reread the messages during the week, the comments that you've actually sent to me, or even the messages, some of the PMs, and I reread them because you've all became that motivation to me. So I want to do better for me, but I want to bring you along and hopefully help some of you at the same time. All right, guys and gals, thank you, and sorry this is kind of rambling, and sorry for the shiny glasses, but I can't read without them. Or I could, but the type would have to be this big. Alright guys, take it easy.